I mean, here, if you want to understand Nick Fuentes a little bit better, let's watch a video of Nick Fuentes, and you can hear him in his own words.
We're doing a press conference at 5:00 p.m. at the Sheraton Hotel.
God, he's such a base groiper, dude. These guys are all such fucking losers, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, my Lord. They're such fucking losers.
I'll be giving my most unchained speech ever. So this is going to be the most racist. Whoa! Sexist. Yes! The most anti-Semitic. Yeah!
Yeah! Like, they're such fucking goobers, dude. They're such fucking losers. I mean, he's literally wearing the Wicked glasses, bro. Like, that's all you need to know. He's just like, yeah, the memes, bro. The memes, they're so fire.
The most Holocaust denying. Yeah! Speech in all of Dallas this weekend. Yes! So I'll see you there. Should we try to walk into CPAC? Yeah.
This is after he got banned from CPAC. Ugh. I just like, I feel weird even like spending airtime on this fucking loser.
America first! America first! America!
Like, this dude still got the braces on, bro. I mean, it's crazy. This kid's still learning algebra at school. And he's over here being like, I love being a Nazi. Oh my God. It's like, you're a child, dude. And you're surrounded by children. Where are these people's parents, bro? Where are the parents? Where are the parents? Where are the parents? Where are the parents? Where are the parents?
Let's go! Nick Fuentes is in the house! Yeah! It's White Boy Summer! Let's go! White Boy Summer! Yeah! Let's flip and go!
Groypers are in the building.
Yeah!
He said groypers are in the building. Oh my God, dude. This is all you need to know, brother. This is who Kanye's hanging out with. Someone quick alert this man. Kanye West needs to see this video because it speaks for itself. You know what I mean? You fucking see this video, you're like, oh, what the fuck was I doing?
Groyper! 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 Groyper!
They were not embarrassed to do this shit in public, bro. That's crazy. I thought a lot of people are like, oh my God, stan Twitter, Minecraft stans or whatever. Like, you look at Minecraft stans in public and the way that they behave and you get mad at them. You're like, oh, that's so embarrassing. Bro, this is infinitely worse, okay? They're standing fucking, Nazis. Like, they're stan Twitter but for Nazi shit. For other equally deranged white supremacist weirdos. And now Ye's hanging out with them and loves them. Fuentes also told Trump that he would crush potential 2024 Republican rivals in the primary, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Trump asked for Fuentes' opinion on other candidates as well. Trump at one point turned to Ye and said, I really like this guy. He gets me. Trump asked if Fuentes was on social media such as Truth Social, the former president's alternative to Twitter. Fuentes told Trump that he was on Truth Social, but he'd been banned from the social media platform Getter because Trump's advisor, Jason Miller, the CEO of the company, wasn't a fan of his. Trump asked whether it was because Fuentes was on the fringe of his supporter base, the source said. Fuentes acknowledged that he was, saying he's one of those people who got banned from everything. By the way, that's Trump's way of saying, like, are you a Nazi? Like, it's so obvious, dude. Yeah, no. Yeah, he knows, like, he knows his base. He's not, he didn't on accident say there was very fine people on both sides on fucking Charlottesville when the dudes were, like, screaming Jews will not replace us and shit. Nicholas Fuentes and people like him and the ideas that they represent are either completely appropriate in the eyes of Donald Trump if they are being presented as state violence, whether it be like a Muslim ban, or white nativist immigration talking points, white nativist immigration agenda points that Stephen Miller is like codifying, institutionalizing, right? But he's not going to go out of his way to be like, I am ideologically, on board with fucking Nazis. Like, he's not going to openly state that. He will only say like, oh, I'm a centrist on that issue. Oh, are you one of my fringe supporters? Okay. They're using Kanye like a condom. Oh, dude. Yeah. It is so wild how hard he's being fucking grifted and shafted. They're using him like a fucking hand puppet, dude. Straight up. That like Kanye West is being used by literal neo-Nazis as a way to like normalize their fucking perspective, which is crazy. It is insane to me, and he is not seeing it at all. He's just, maybe this will cause some internal rift amongst which kind of white supremacists will allow Kanye to be shared by other white supremacists. Like because I feel like Candace Owens is not too fond of she's smart enough to recognize that like this shit is super toxic, right? Like Ben Shapiro is gonna pull out, you know what I mean? All of a sudden Daily Wire is pulling out. All of a sudden you got like only the most like ideologically minded fascists are gonna still end up supporting Kanye West and others like him. So you're gonna see like internal rifts with Candace trying to get into Ye's ear and be like, hey, don't hang out with these guys, they're bad. That takes responsibility away from Kanye. He's a grown man and let himself be used. I mean, he's fucking done. He's pathetic. He's fallen from fucking grace in a super, super meaningful way. Recently, there's been some confusion about who Nick Fuentes is. It's time to do an authoritative deep dive. Benny Johnson is like already fucking pushing it, you know? Fuentes with the Charlottesville Nazi, white supremacist and Nazi march. Fuentes posted hours before Heather Heyer was killed that the event was incredible and said, you will not replace us, and that a tidal wave of white identity is coming. This thread is from 2019. Oh, I mean, even back in 2019, Benny Johnson was popping off on this guy. Fuentes believes in racial segregation. Here, let's go.
It was better for them too. Number one, but number two, who cares?
He's talking about racial segregation here. He's saying it was better for them too, as in like better for black people.
Who cares? Enough with the Jim Crow stuff. Who cares? Oh, they had to drink out of a different water fountain. Big fucking deal. Oh no, they had to go to a different school. Their water fountain in that famous picture was worse. Who cares? Grow up. Drink out of the fucking water fountain. It's water. It's the same, And, even if it was bad, who cares?
Someone should get Kanye to listen to some of the stuff to see where Nick Fuentes is, Ah, man, that's nice.
1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and Cookie Monster has 15 ovens.
He's talking about, he's doing Holocaust math, classic Holocaust denial, saying that 6 million Jews didn't die in the Holocaust.
Working 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long does it take Cookie Monster to make 6 million batches of cookies? I don't know. That's a good question. Certainly, oh, no. It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of...
He's reading probably someone who like called in to his stream cookies. Or like wrote a dono or something.
Doing 24 hours a day every day for 5 years. How long would it take you to make 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there. The math doesn't quite seem to add up there. I don't think you'd result in 6 million. Maybe 200 to 300,000 cookies.
What a pussy, dude. Okay, this is the part that you shouldn't show Kanye, because Kanye West would agree with this part. He'd be like, yeah, that's true. Actually, I should start saying that.
And in addition, in this hypothetical, I imagine that if you took aerial photographs over the kitchens, you would need to see certain smokestacks to release.
All of this is like well documented, well addressed. It's one of the most like typical forms that you are talking to a Nazi who will say like, oh, there wasn't fucking smokestacks, which is all debunked for the record. Like literally ash would fall upon the city around Holocaust concentration camps. It's just like it rained burnt flesh. Like he's just denying basic realities. For the record, like, I don't even know if I need to address it, but maybe some people don't know. A lot of people don't fully know the history. But, like, it was very well documented, the things that happened. Yeah, these are the guys who say the Holocaust didn't happen, but it should have, though. Exactly. There you go. So he's just, again, like, he's just doing Holocaust denial, basic Nazi stuff. Fuentes uses slurs to describe Jews and gay people. He's criticized Rubin Report for being gay and Jewish and referred to him as Jewy.
You want to talk to Jewy Jewstein, who says...
Talking about Dave Rubin.
I like the free market. I like capitalism. But I think something else about...
What he's doing with his hands there is the merchant meme, for the record. Like, he's trying to say, like, oh, he's a merchant. Like, goes back to the Jews control the banking system and the media memes. Yeah, the Jewish trader meme, exactly. He called Matt Walsh blog a race trader because he works for Jews, referring to Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire.
Typing on twitter.com, faggot, pussy, race trader. You work for Jews,
Oh, here, this is another one. Fuentes is deeply anti-Semitic and racist. When asked if he's hurt in his daily uses by Jews, Fuentes replied, I told you yes, absolutely. He also said it would be degenerate for a white person to have sex with a black person.
Hurt in your daily existence by Jews.
I told you yes, absolutely. You laugh at it like...
How so?
Hasan, stop. No, you need to see this. These are all things that I'm already well aware of and haven't talked about for a very long time. Deliberately, specifically, didn't want to fucking cover this person because this person is, again... mostly an irrelevant person. But unfortunately, Kanye West is like really, really excited to have this guy be prominently featured, and you know, he's like bringing him to meetings with he's having with Donald Trump. So, you know, you just gotta learn a little bit about him, I guess, just to know.
Would you say that me having sex with my dog is the same thing as me having sex with a black man?
No. But they would both be degenerate.
Oh,
Fuentes on rape.
The idea of rape is that the rapist is getting the sexual pleasure from it. You can, well, it's about power. Well, at the end of the day, it's a sexual act for sexual pleasure. So it literally doesn't even make any sense why you would rape somebody in a way that doesn't even...
Like, I mean, dude, again, like, insane. I'm telling you right now, every bad, wrong, completely unhinged, deranged, psychopathic opinion that you sometimes may even ascribe to conservatives as a broader ideology, this dude owns it. He owns it. He just says it out loud.
It's not even about your dick, right? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? If you're just finger blasting somebody, like, I don't know if you were just trying to be mean or just downright malicious, maybe, like, you know, fuck you. But it's not like it's doing anything for you.
Yeah, like, you're not even getting your nut off. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Like, rape a girl, then go home and, like, jack off about it later? Like, that's dumb. You know what I mean? Like, he already, like, he went to jail for this. Like, and he didn't even get his nut, you know?
And like I said, it's just so not a big deal. You know, if a woman jerked me off.
He's talking about the swimmer dude, right? I think that's what they're talking
like,
about.
Oh, I didn't want her to jerk me off. Would that, like, keep me up at night? Would I, like, wake up in a cold sweat having a nightmare about, like, somebody's
you're talking about Brock Turner. Fuentes runs the alt-right 2.0. Here he is, side by side with fucking Richard Spencer. Fuentes attempted to distance himself from alt-right leader Richard Spencer. However, he agreed with him on many things. He called the white and white nationalists redundant, implying it doesn't change the meaning of the word.
I think in a way it's almost redundant to say that you're a white nationalist. We know that the word nation almost implicitly talks about ethnicity. And so I think if I call myself a nationalist, it's almost implicit in...
One of the funniest things about Nazis is that, like, they will usually very openly state what their goals are. They will usually very openly state, like, they're very public about, like, you know, how they want to change the narrative and even distance themselves from other Nazis who are out and about. That's what Nick Fuentes is doing here, basically, like having minor disagreements with Richard Spencer, because Richard Spencer is a known out and about white nationalist, white supremacist Nazi. So one thing that Nazis always recognize is that, like, listen, if someone has the beat on you as a open out and about fascist, you're toxic. That's it. If someone has the beat on you, if someone knows that you're an out and about straight up fucking Nazi clown, then most people are going to be like, yeah, no, that's too much for me. Yeah, they say never reveal your power level, and that's what that comes from. The power level narrative comes from that. The idea that, like, you should always hide what your actual stated political ideological beliefs are. Derek Black, who's a former Nazi and the son of the guy who basically, like, created Stormfront, has talked extensively on this. Derek Black would give seminars to Nazis about how to infiltrate the ranks of the Republican Party so that you can focus on all of the agreements that you have with the Republican Party, which you are very close to in ideology, without openly stating that you're a Nazi. White Nazis wouldn't like a Mexican in their ranks. Nick, sorry to burst your bubble. No, I think they'll use Nick Fuentes. Like, nationalist movements revolve around exclusion, so inevitably his time will come as well. But they will certainly use him until his time has come, and they've decided that, like, Hispanic people are no longer white, because Hispanic people originally were not considered white. So
you are a racial identitarian.
Oh God, the guy who's the moderator is like, what's his fucking face? He's like the race realism guy. Ugh. Is it JF Garepi, who I think, like, raped a disabled person, right? Didn't he? I don't fucking remember. I should literally not know any of this. It's so fucking whack that I know any of this shit. This is why I stay the fuck away from debate circles, okay? You learn about these sorts of things because the debate circuit, no matter what happens, is ultimately going to get bored of the same fucking people that are debating and start debating people like this.
Even if we stopped all immigration tomorrow, because the country is, in terms of births, less than 50% white already, things are already destined to be very different, to say the least. We could very easily identify which variables have to change to reverse that situation. You have the native-born population or the white population. You have the foreign-born population. You have to get one of these numbers to increase, one of these numbers to go down.
They're talking about how to reduce the non-white population, something that Nazis care about and want to do all the time. That's why they love Donald Trump when he was saying, like, we don't want immigration from shitholes like Nigeria where people are living in mud huts, and we want immigration from Norway. It's like a very clear-cut, very obvious white supremacist talking point. But because white supremacy is so American that, like, you'll hear shit like that from random motherfuckers, you know what I mean? You'll hear shit like that from the random guy at the bar, you know what I mean? Like, these are ideas that, like, people have internalized. Him saying native born sounds odd as hell for me as a Native American. Yeah, that's why Tucker Carlson doesn't even use the term Native American, but like will use, which by the way, Tucker Carlson's absolutely on board with a lot of these ideas. He says legacy Americans. To make that distinction between Native Americans and white Americans, he says legacy Americans. You'll hear him say it regularly. Here is Nick Fuentes upset that Trump disavowed white supremacy after Charlottesville.
Yeah, for him to disavow white supremacy is very cucked and blue-pilled. You know, totally wrong.
Oh man, he's so cucked. He's so soy. Is this Benny Johnson against Nick? He's a newsman. Benny Johnson in 2019, I believe, was already a right-winger. He was at BuzzFeed, but he got fired from BuzzFeed for plagiarizing. He got fired from like 2 other places for plagiarizing. He was just like a routine plagiarizer. By the way, imagine getting fired from BuzzFeed for plagiarism is literally like getting arrested for doing campaign donation fraud in the United States of America. Like, the name of the game is plagiarism at BuzzFeed. So you must have done incredible amounts of it that, like, even BuzzFeed was like, come on, dog, you're done. That's like kind of what you're supposed to do at BuzzFeed. And same as, by the way, the other joke is that Dinesh D'Souza went to jail for straw donations in a country where you could just like use the legal channels to make unlimited donations to whatever fucking political campaign you want to.
What's this guy, Tim Scott, who earlier today was like, white nationalism is antithetical to the American creed. But what do you know about the American creed? You know, and Dinesh D'Souza, President Trump should make a speech talking about the roots of white nationalism and white supremacy. When the fuck did you get here? 1990? You know, Dinesh D'Souza? I'm sorry, anybody sounding like Dinesh D'Souza signed the Constitution of the United States or the Declaration of Independence? I don't remember that.
Wait, but that argument literally extends to Nicholas Fuentes. Like, what the fuck? Dog, you're not British, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck you talking about? You're literally named Nicholas Fuentes, brother. Fuck's he talking about? He's literally like, dude, that's funny. Anyway, that is something that I can never, like, it's just hard to overlook that reality when you're like an out and about Nazi, like a out and about white nationalist, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, and like your name is Nicholas Fuentes. Little bro thinks he's on the team. Like, you're not on the team, man. Anyway.
France, sorry for the language, but, you know, really, Dinesh D'Souza is going to roll up to our shore from India, from smelly, open defecation India, and he's going to tell us that Robert E. Lee was a racist and, our ancestors were villains, as long as they were Democrats, you know, so.
Brother, what you mean our? What do you mean our ancestors, bro? That's crazy.
America first is not America first if it's not 100% whiteboard and no blackboard. No blackboard. You want to have blackboard? Start your own show. Put it over there. You want to start your own show next door? Fine. Have a blackboard show. This is a whiteboard show. This here, whiteboard country, all right? I don't want to see any blackboards coming around this area because this is a whiteboard show. I hate blackboard.
So the thing is, like, he can't, you know, one of the things is, like, even when he is racist or whatever, he can't always openly state it. Like, he can't openly always state, like, his desires. So he has to just, like, use this pussy shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm a whiteboard nationalist. Like, that's it, you know? It's just cowardly as fuck. He is omega cucked, ultimately. And even then, because he can't control his urges and regularly fucking openly admits his interest in having a white ethno-state, ultimately, even if he is like incredibly cucked this way, people understand what he is, and therefore he is toxic. Fuentes is a believer in leftist authoritarianism and identity politics. Fuentes said that if Antifa were waving the banner of Mussolini or calling for fascism, he would be joining them, and that would be a great thing for them to storm DC and take over the country. Yeah, dude, totally. Because Mussolini definitely, when he was popping off, was a out and about leftist. Fuentes, leader of the alt-right 2.0. Nick Fuentes basically admits that he shares the views of the original alt-right and that he said they can be fellow travelers, but he doesn't want to call himself the worst political brand. Oh, there it is.
Fellow was saying, oh, no, Nick defended ethnic nationalism and blah, blah, blah. And Mike was like, oh.
Remember when I told you these guys fucking understand? They understand propaganda fairly well, and they recognize that, like, the brand is toxic.
So he believes everything we do, but he doesn't call himself alt-right. And it's
right.
Like they just can't wrap their heads around the fact that, like, marketing is important. It's really not about the issues in a big way. I mean, in the sense that...
Is Benny Johnson against Fuentes? Yes. There are people even as fucking stupid as Benny Johnson that understand that, like, having Nazis in your ranks that can't fucking stop themselves from getting super horned up and openly admitting their white supremacist ideologies is going to be bad for the overarching conservative movement. Nick Fuentes personally recognizes that that's a bad thing, as he is also personally admitting here. That's why he's distancing himself from the alt-right, because it's bad optics, because ultimately these guys want to change people's minds about certain things, okay? But remember, America is already super fucking right-wing. But no matter how super fucking right-wing America is, we defeated the Nazis, right? Alongside the USSR. But everyone knows that being a racist or a Nazi is a bad thing. Even if you yourself are a racist, you often do not think of yourself as a racist. That's why motherfuckers in the Klan wore hoods for a long ass time. They went back to it immediately after Charlottesville. Everybody knows that the moment that you're identified as a out and about Nazi, it's over. It's a wrap, right? Which is precisely why they try to hide that. And that's why he's trying to distance himself from the prior alt-right formation. And that's precisely why a lot of the fucking conservatives, mainstream conservatives, are saying, like, oh, come on, no Nick Fuentes. Why does this person have a following? He doesn't. Like, his following is marginal, super, super fucking small. Ultimately, he's not like a very big commentator. But the person he has now latched his name onto, Kanye West, well, Kanye West is arguably one of the most famous individuals on the fucking planet. He gets like 25% of your viewers every stream. What do you mean he's small? My man, if you're one of those fucking absolutely brain dead, pathetic fucking losers who thinks websites like DLive or Rumble have like real fucking views, I don't know what to tell you, okay? They fucking view bot. Also, that's a self-report. Like you're literally watching. You're telling me that you're watching fucking Nazis. Like, abandon that fucking idiot. Like, you're talking about a website whose daily active usership is like literally an XQC stream. Like, overall. Yeah, of course they're fucking fake. They're botted the hell.
It's like we can be fellow travelers, and I just don't call myself probably the worst political brand in the country right now. It's not, I don't mean that in a personal way, but that's just, how the winds are right now. Well, and I like these guys personally. Like, I like them okay enough.
What does he mean saying fellow travelers? It means like they're on the same path, dude.
I don't know if I necessarily disagree with you so much on diagnosing the issues, but if we're trying to address the problem from within the system, I can't be associated with somebody who was throwing up Roman salutes with the KKK.
There you go. That's it. Perhaps some conservatives do not fully understand the vile hatred Fuentes represents. Hopefully this thread has made it clear for who he is and what he believes. Others have avoided comment. We're passing that. To ignore the full truth would be a horrible mistake. Nicholas J. Fuentes should not be protected or coddled by the conservative movement. We should disavow this tiny angry man standing in front of his tiny green screen. We don't disavow hatred, racism, identity politics, and open anti-Semitism. How are we different from the left? I love that. Benny Johnson. How are we any different than the left? Pointing to a guy who is like hanging out with Marjorie Taylor Greene, hung out with Donald Trump the other day. How is Kanye aligned with Fuentes when Fuentes is so openly racist? Well, Kanye West is unhinged. Okay? He's absolutely unhinged. And he doesn't know anything. Like he I don't know who the fuck put them in contact with one another, but he probably thought that Nick Fuentes was very smart. Okay? That's it. He doesn't fucking know any of this shit, most likely. He's like an edgy teenager. He's unironically behaving like all the fucking kids on 4chan originally.
Blacks vote for Democrats. Why do they do that? God only knows. Why do they play the knockout game? Why do they punch white people in the street for no reason?
The knockout game. Oh my God. One of the funniest parts about these fucking unhinged virgins is that their ideology, their rhetoric, and their opinions resemble the likes of like a 75-year-old Fox News watcher. Why do they play the knockout game? Yeah, dude, that's what black people are doing. They're playing the knockout game. Most of the Zoomers in the chat have no fucking clue what that is, but that was popping on fucking social media and on Fox News and Fox News adjacent local news broadcasts about like way back in the day where like black people are coming up and like punching Whitey in the face, you know, that sort of thing.
Why do they rob 5 7-Elevens in 30 minutes? Why do they walk around with their pants around their ankles? I don't know.
The pants around the ankles. Let's go, dude. This man's racism is like vintage, dude. He's talking like a fucking 40-year-old man in 2006, okay? He said, pull up your damn pants, okay? Oh, what a fucking goober. That's awesome. He's racist Benjamin Button, bro. What a fucking loser.
Just send the military in. Do what must be done. Send the military into these black neighborhoods. Make the streets safe. They'll complain about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're never going to vote for us.
Nice. When he's not calling for the military occupation of black communities, he advocated for the mass murder of women as a way to end women's rights by burning them at the stake. I mean, dude, every broadcast is like this, by the way. The reason why there's like millions and millions of fucking clips. On Leftovers, Ethan, every time like there's like a funny moment of Nick Fuentes, like, you know, being outed as someone who was like dating like a cat boy or something, Ethan wanted to cover it. And I was like, no. We're not doing that. And the reason why we're not doing it is because I always said, like, no shot, not covering this fucking dude, not relevant enough. He, like, I don't even want the fucking light of day. I don't want a light to be shined on this dude, even when it's like his worst moments or whatever the fuck, you know? Yeah, a Nazi cat boy. I mean, these guys are all fucking degenerate weirdos, okay? They're just completely unhinged, right? And the reason why I never really talked about him and gave him any fucking clout was because it had not reached like terminal velocity. And that's the reason why I'm doing it now, because let's be fucking real. The cat's out of the goddamn bag. Like if he's meeting with Donald Trump and Kanye West is like promoting him on his massive fucking Twitter account. Yeah, well, it's a little bit too late for that, I think, right? Yeah, the cat boys are out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. Like it's over. I still think that Kanye's brand is going to diminish by aligning with this person even further. It doesn't really matter either. We shall see what happens. I'm just giving you additional information on background so that you guys have a better understanding. You have a better understanding of like who this person is and what he represents.
And what does that look like? Does that look like a society where you have gay marriage and birth control and contraceptives and legal, ubiquitous internet pornography and all the rest, but transgender kids aren't playing in girls' water polo? No, that's not what it looks like. It looks like a society where women don't have the right to vote. And it looks like a society where boys and girls get married as teenagers.
He's saying that's his perfect society.
And start having kids, and they don't use birth control, and they don't use contraceptives, and they have big families.
Dog, what about you though, homie? Like you're literally openly terrified of women and have never had sex with women, and here it is, by the way. I'm going to go pee. This is a funny moment, at least.
I mean, I dare say, from my understanding of many of your viewpoints, you also promote like the way of interacting with women, and I go, have you been in a relationship with a woman?
No.
So how are you telling other people how to behave towards women when you yourself have not had any actual physical, you know, interaction with them in a romantic capacity, or in fact, in any capacity where you know, uphold them? But, you know, if you are looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that women are half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to you know, basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now, and I've had lots of experiences with women in my life, not romantically per se, but you know, I've talked to enough women. I've been in, you know, I've known enough women to know sort of what's going on.
He knows. Yeah, rough, baby. Rough. Yeah, negative Riz, dude. Oh, brother. I've seen that video a lot. This was one of the things that I did not want to even cover because I didn't want to give it any attention. But yeah, Isn't she a Trump conservative as well? Let that sink in. Yeah, no, he is too toxic for even the fucking most trumped up conservative weirdos. You know what I mean? The most unhinged weirdos, because he says shit like this.
High birth rate, and it looks like women wearing veils at church, and it looks like women not being in the workforce, and it looks like.
I mean, he wants like a Saudi/Iranian theocracy, but white and Christian. That's what he wants, which we all know is not exactly the best best form of governance. That's what, and the reason why I'm using that is because there are plenty of people, remember, in both Saudi Arabia and Iran and in other places where there are theocratic formations that fucking hate that shit, just like you. So always remember that when you're shitting on the entirety of Iran, when you're shitting on like a fucking, when you're shitting on governments and you're shitting on the actual people that live in that government, remember that they are not a monolith and they are struggling more than you are, because they're also struggling to fucking, overthrow their own form of governance. But this guy very openly is just saying like, we want, Christian Sharia.
Mothers raising their kids, and it looks like pornography being banned, and homosexuality and transsexuality, as well as heterosexual sodomy, as well as fornication and adultery being shamed by the society, and maybe in some places, in some jurisdictions, regulated by the law. It's not enough to say we're against trans. You got to be against women's rights too. It's not enough to be against blue-haired feminism. You got to be against women getting educated.
That's actually kind of funny that he's just like, he literally is like, it's not the current conservative party and it's like endless conquest to eviscerate trans people from existence is not enough. Like, you also have to literally fucking hate women openly. A winning idea here.
What are we really trying to achieve here? 1999? 1999 sucked too. We want to go back to 1099. We want to go back to the Middle Ages.
Here's what Trump said about Ye meeting with him, by the way. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, was asking me for advice concerning some of his difficulties, in particular having to do with his business. We also discussed, to a lesser extent, politics, where I told him he should definitely not run for president. Any voters you may have should vote for Trump. Anyway, we got along great. He expressed no anti-Semitism, and I appreciated all the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? Also, I didn't know Nick Fuentes. That's funny, dude. You just name dropped him.